Good morning, welcome back to Hit Point Inn. My name is Raval, I'll be your bartender and I hope you enjoy your stay. Welcome back to my guide series. Today we're going to be creating the ultimate Nova Aetas guide. So you can do everything in Nova Aetas that you plan on doing. We're going to be focusing mostly on steps to conquer the world because that's usually my thing. And just to show you guys that I know what I'm talking about, I've conquered everything in the new world, which is not necessarily a good idea. We're going to be talking about that later. And I've conquered, you could say, almost half, but a good third of the old world. So we've founded the Old Calretic Empire. The Old Calretic Empire is usually practically like the kingdom, the old kingdom of Pendor, or something like that. Okay, sure, let's go for it. So yes, going to be talking about all aspects of the game, and as you can see, we're doing pretty good for ourselves. My build is looking amazingly, and we shall start off by talking about best character builds. So to do that, we will be exiting and starting a new game. So regarding the best character builds, you need to remember one thing. There is no best starting choices for your characters, because as I understand, through all of my calculations that I've made, the magic number is 23. I'm going to be explaining that in a second. Uncle Bam, check the schedule. Type in exclamation point schedule. Okay, so first things first that you need to choose when you create your own character is male, female. Quick character, you're going to be going directly inside the game, but that's for mod testing purposes. It's really not a good character for you to go for, especially if you want to roleplay. You can choose either male or female. I actually conquered the half of the world with a female character, and I'm going to be showing her to you in a bit. We're going to be going for male this time, and then you have the choices that will decide your stats for your character. But any choices that you make, you will usually have 23 stats to play around with. That's the magic number. That's usually the most common that I've seen. And even though you choose a Baron fallen into disgrace, you will start off with a low social position, and we'll talk about the prestige system a little bit later on. But first choices really don't matter that much. These are more for role-playing purposes. If you want to be a thief, go with a dishonest thief and just check in all of the dishonest options. If you want to be a skilled fighter, go do that. I actually don't recommend that you go hunter, poacher, archer start, because it only gives you 2 points in power draw. Just 2 points in power draw is really not that much. Okay, so let's go with, usually what I would recommend that you guys go for is a skilled warrior. Then you have to choose between your vocation, farming and gathering resources, crafting and making objects, buying and selling goods, liturgy and worship, liberal arts, and like philosophy, history, and orthodox. Again, I'm going to say it's not important, because as you level up your character, you will have more than enough skill points to do any type of character, and it will not matter on your starting choices. It will not matter because of the Piety system, which we're going to be talking in a little bit. So let's go with, you know what, liberal arts, like philosophy, history, and rhetorics, because why the fuck not? Then you have to choose your mindset. If you're open-minded, revolutionary, if you're skillful, if you're authoritarian, if you're hateful, revengeful, or irrational, stuff like that. These will most likely influence the traits that you're going to be receiving throughout the game and the people that you're going to be able to get along with. For example, if you meet another open-minded person, you will receive a bonus relation of +1 with that leader or stuff like that. So again, it's really not important what you choose here. Just go with your gut. Just go for your role-playing fantasy mode. Okay, just role-play. Have fun. This is a world that you're going to be getting born into, and you're going to be having a lot of fun. So we're just going to go open-minded, revolutionary, and that thing. And over here, I'm going to go university student, because why not? And the last option is personal hate, loss of your parents, wanderlust, being power hungry, and lust for money. Lust for money for shiny coins will give you +1 to looting. Wanderlust will give you pathfinding. Power hungry will give you I guess +1 strength or something like that. Again, it really doesn't matter because of the following. Let's go with Wanderlust and become an adventurer and ride to your good stuff. We're just going to allow me to quit without saving because this is just a test character. And yes, this is going to be a lot more extensive than Prophecy of Pendor. Okay, so usually what you're going to be able to do is go 9, 9, 8, 8 in strength. And this is the most basic start that I recommend. With 9 strength, you're always going to be having 23 skill points on the board on the character sheet. I guess you could put everything into intellect, but that's just going to increase it by 2 skill points, so it's really not that big of a deal. Again, because of the level up system and the piety system, which we're going to be talking in a second. So let's just put everything at 8 and put intellect at 9 and intellect and charisma at 9. And again, what I would recommend you guys do is go for leadership 3, prisoner management 3. A little bit of inventory management might be amazing for you. And then simply focus on, if you want to dabble a little bit into craftsmanship, yes, there is a crafting system. We'll talk about that later. You can put points in craftsmanship. But because, again, the way that you're going to be leveling up, you're going to have all the skill points you need. So I would recommend that you go a little bit into early game combat stats. So like power strike, a little bit of weapon master, a little bit of shield, a little bit of riding. Again, depending on the type of character that you will wish to build. And I'm going to put an extra point into surgery because why the fuck not? Sadly, you can't go for a looting 7 or looting 10 from level 1 build. Everything is balanced out. You will not be able to go above 23 only if you add a little bit. At the maximum amount of skill points that you're going to be able to get out of your character sheet is 25 if you just dump everything into intellect. But I recommend that you go for a balanced start. Again, because I'm going to be showing you why. So let's just go with this. Okay, choose whatever type of character your boy wishes to look like. Then, you have to choose your religion. So, regarding religion, we're going to be going into religion after I show you my main character. But, for right now, what you need to know is you're going to be receiving a 50% price penalty in villages and towns that are not of your religion. And I recommend, this is a game that I recommend that you not go atheist. You not go atheist just because of the benefits of the other thingamajigs that you're going to be facing. So practically easy mode for religion is go Christian. And over here, choosing the exact wing of Christianity, Orthodoxy, Lutheranism, Calvinism, these are just for show. These are just aesthetics and for role-playing purposes. So I'm going to go Orthodox because that's actually my real-life religion. And then over here, again, this is for role-playing purposes. I haven't seen any modifications in stats for choosing anything different from over here. And as I understand, in the game, your age really doesn't go forward, I noticed. So, young and energetic between 18. Actually, no. I'm between 25 and 35 right now, so let's go with that. Okay, so this is the world map. We're going to be discussing more in depth about each faction. And I'm actually going to be utilizing this map to talk about each faction, so we are going to save this character toot sweet in a second. You will usually start with a hunting crossbow, bolt, rusty sword, and a shield. Usually you'll start with this. Only if you choose the game poacher option, you're going to be starting off as more of a taiga bandit, and I recommend against that start because besides a lack of power draw skills, you will also receive shitty gear and you won't be able to deal with the enemy solo if you get into that situation. So, yeah, this is the starting character from level 1, and we'll talk about the early game soon. So I'm just going to save as over here in an empty slot. Why? Sure. And now we're going to go to our main character, to the character that I've been playing. We're on day 581. So yeah, I've been able to create this faction by almost day 600. And this is my character sheet. Okay, so first off that you can see is how the fuck do I have 30 intellect and 21 charisma by just level 35. And here comes the piety system and the religion that comes into play. So, I'm going to be talking about piety real quick, and what does that do with your character. So let's go to personal report, character report. And as you can see, I have piety 478. To gain piety, first I'll talk about how you gain piety and then what does piety do for you. To gain piety, you need to pray. You need to pray at your own religion each day, or you can also bribe the clergy to give you 100 piety or 50 piety or something like that, simply by money. You can do this if you just don't want to spend each day praying at a temple, at a basilica, at a Stonehenge or something like that, depending on your religion. To pray, you just visit the local church inside a town. Yes, Deathly Grim, I am creating a guide for Nova Aetas on YouTube. Welcome back to the end, my man. You just go to, this is practically the Christian religious spot. You talk with the priest, talk with the bishop, and you say, I want to pray. And you're going to be saying, depending on the religion, a prayer in Latin in this case, and my piety has increased by 1. Now, what does piety do? Why the fuck are we doing this? Why? Oh, and you can also pray only once per day. Once per day, once every 24 hours. So I recommend that in the early game you go each day and pray like a good little religious person, depending on your religion. So what does piety do? Every 10 piety, you're going to be receiving a permanent +1 to charisma on your character sheet. A permanent +1 to a maximum of 10 charisma, so 100 piety. The reason I have 400 piety is simply because of the decisions that I've made and helping out the clergy during kingdom management, but we're going to be getting to that later. Okay, so thank you for the host, Deadly Grim. I saw that you hosted me. Also, Lord Velfen, hello. Welcome to the inn, my boy. So, as you can see, I've only invested, I think we started off at 9. I invested 2 points into charisma just to reach level 21, so I can have leadership 7. So, how do you level up your character? What do you start with? Well, first off, you start by grinding piety, or simply paying for piety towards the late game. Thus, do not invest into charisma whatsoever. You don't need to. At the end, once you have 100 piety, you see the number of charisma that you've reached at, and then add or don't add, depending on your choice. So what would I do? First of all, as usual, I would put 12 points into agility. This is a sweet spot. You'll be able to bring your riding up to 4 or your athletics up to 4, depending on the type of character that you wish to build. And then bringing the strength up just to be sure that you're going to be able to equip the exact weapons that you want to go for. For example, in my case, I wanted to go with a heavy Morningstar because this is my favorite weapon in the game. It requires me 14 strength, but I went up to 15 strength just to have that extra point into power strike. Why do I have 17 strength? I'll explain in a bit. So once I have 15 strength, 12 agility, I dump everything into intellect until I reach 30 intellect. Everything into intellect. And once I have, of course, on the journey of dumping everything into intellect, if I have full 100 piety, I add a little bit extra to charisma just to reach that threshold of 21 to reach leadership 7. Thank you, Thorn. We're going to be talking about the helm and armor later. Once I reach intellect 30, I don't recommend that you go above 30 because there is literally no point in going above. Once you reach 30, you're going to be able to be speccing into the max amount of stats in that department. And as you can see, I specialized my character into persuasion, leadership, surgery, trainer. Yes, I made my character medic because the passive stats from surgery still apply, and now I'm running around with 14 surgery. 14 surgery. Practically, well, no, not practically, almost making my soldiers immortal. So this is what I recommend, that you just put everything into intellect, make yourself the medic just to make your boys immortal and as hard to kill as possible. You're going to be saving a lot of troops and money for doing this. And it's super satisfying to see your boys not die. Okay, just let me get a sip. Okay, so let's say, of course, on your character, you might say, I don't need 10 training, so I'm just gonna be putting some extra points into power draw. I'm gonna be making a archer character, or I'm gonna be doing a full pathfinding guy, or I don't need that much wound treatment or first aid. I'm gonna put another companion do that, and I'm gonna be speccing this, so you can play around with the stats. That's what I meant early game, and this is why the starting choices of your character really don't matter in this one, because you have so many stats that you can play around with on your character that you really don't have to worry about your original decisions. Go, have fun, be insane, be a steep bandit that educates himself and becomes the most badass person in the world utilizing a throwing dagger. I don't know, be creative, be whatever you want, and don't be afraid to experiment because you have the stats to play around with. The only thing that I recommend that you spec on your main character is surgery. Surgery and leadership. That 21 charisma will really help you out with troop wages, party morale, and army size in the late game. This is all you need to focus on your main character: leadership and surgery. Those are my recommendations. Besides that, go nuts, my man. Go nuts, have fun, and or my girl, I don't judge. And you do you. So let me think what else I need to explain about religion and piety. So I guess we're gonna be doing a recap on piety, religion, and then we're gonna be transitioning into character traits. So religion. How does this look like? I'm actually going to be exiting from here and going back on the Y character, just because the factions are already set, so I can easily show you each religion where it is and what are the easiest religions, easy to be as that religion, and the hardest ones. Okay, so to the north, we have the Kingdom of Norgr and the Nordic Union, so there's practically a divide into the Nords from the native game. We have the Kingdom of Norgr, who are still worshipping the old gods, the Norse mythological gods, Thor, Odin, Loki, and so on and so forth. And then we have the Nordic Union, who is the Christian side of the Nords. And they will usually always go to war until one of them wins and destroys the other. Okay, then let's talk about since we've mentioned that the Nordic Union is Christian, we're going to be talking about all of the Christian factions, and that would be the Vaegirs are them, the Swadians, Kingdom of Swadia. Then to the southwest we have the Kingdoms of Rhodoks, who are also Christian. Zendar, Merchant Republic of Zendar, also Christian. The Papal State, which is going to be coming a little bit later when I'm going to be explaining Crusades. These are also Christian. And just to be sure that of course, the Aegonic Order, which are based on the Teutonic Knights. It's a faction based on the Teutonic Knights. These are also Christian. And the Mithridian Empire, who is currently unexplored in the islands to the south. And they're more based on, they're a combination of Lord of the Rings elves with the Byzantine Empire, and they're unexplored because they're a very isolationist faction at the start of the game until they pan out and start conquering stuff. They're also Christian. And then over here in the New World, we suddenly can see them from level 1. These are unexplored territories, and you gotta literally go there and discover these locations, but you will be able to find the Aztec Empire actually. And I think their religion is Tenegrism, but they're pretty lacking in administrative and religious tools, and we're going to be discussing about this a little bit later once we get to factions. Then, Tenegrism in the Khanate, the Khergit Khanate, and the Turgan Horde, the faction that's going to be invading around, I think the Turgan Horde faction invades based on your level, and they're going to be invading by day 70, but we're going to talk more about them later. And then the Muslim faction, the Saranid Sultanate. So those are the religions, and the only difference. So you can still visit their cities. There's no problem regarding that. You can be atheist. You can be any religion, but you will always have that cost penalty, that 50% cost penalty. So if I'm a Christian lord and I'm selling my stuff in Kingdom of Norgar, I will receive that cost penalty. And religion will come into play once you get to town management and kingdom management, where religion uniformity will come into place. So for example, let's say I am a vassal of the Kingdom of the Nordic Union, and I've took Warcheg from the Kingdom of Norgar, who are of old, they're worshipping the old gods of Norse mythology. I take Warcheg, and I become the ruler of Warcheg or something like that. Let's go with that. And I won't be receiving the full taxes because the people who are worshipping the old gods will not be paying taxes because I'm a Christian lord, and only the Christians will be paying taxes. So you have to work your way to increase religious uniformity and bring the Warcheg city to Christendom, to convert them to Christianity. This is just an example. I could be Muslim and I would take Narma and I would have to convert them to Muslim, and then they would be able to pay more taxes to me. So that's where religious uniformity will come into play later in the game. Okay, just to answer Deathly Grim real quick, wound treatment helps with healing up your soldiers really fast. Surgery helps them not to die when they receive a lethal hit, and first aid helps yourself and your companions to heal up quicker. Deathly Grim. Okay, let's see what else I need to explain about religion, and no, that seems to be it. We are going to be talking a little bit more on religion. I'm going to be touching upon the subject. It will come into play when we reach the kingdom management subject. Okay, now let's talk about character traits, because this is another important fact upon leveling up your characters. So let's go back to my main character, to Roa, my female lady. In case you're wondering how she looks like this. Okay, and let's access her character sheets, her traits screen, by pressing the V key, the V as in Victor. Okay, so as you level up and as you go through the world, you will receive traits, character traits. These will appear on your character based on your actions, the decisions that you make, how well you provide resources, food, and water for your troops, and how honorable you act or how pitiful you act, pitiless you act. No, Deathly Grim. Yes, thank you for reminding me. Regarding atheism, if you're atheist and you start conquering people, you need to increase the religious uniformity of the city. So, for example, again, let's go back to the situation over here. If the Kingdom of I'm a vassal of the Kingdom of Norgar this time. I take Sargoth from the Nordic Union. As an atheist, I'll need to increase the religious uniformity of the Nordic Union, of the original religion. So, since the Nordic Union Sargoth was Christian initially in the game, I will need to increase the Christian religious uniformity to increase tax income, to increase the money that I'm receiving from Sargoth. So keep that in mind if you're atheist, if you're going for that. But again, I recommend that you not go atheist, because you will not be able to receive piety and not benefit from 10 free charisma points. Or you could receive the 10 free charisma points and then convert yourself to atheism if you want that. Okay, so character traits. Some of the character traits that I have here, I'm going to be showing them on my character, and then I'm going to be showing you a full list of them. Truly loyal. This gives a 100% less chance for my vassals to defect, and I also gain 2% renown per week. Pious, because I've been praying. This will give me 50% battle advantage from tactical skills against lords of different beliefs, of different religions. Senile, I really don't exactly know what this entitles, but I think if you are a little bit on the older side, there is a bigger chance of you receiving this. Healthy, if you simply keep food stocks high. Pretty, if I guess I'm a pretty woman and I don't lose battle too much, I guess. I'm not exactly sure. Egalitarian, so if you have the open-minded trait, you will receive +2 relations upon meeting other open-minded people. What else do I have? Trustworthy, because I'm simply honest, honorable, and righteous. Great commander, +2 battle advantage. Disciplined, minus 10% troop upkeep. I'm not sure, Erignator. I think you have to become Jewish in the tavern or something like that. Not exactly sure how you switch to atheism. Awful duelist, because apparently I get my ass beat when I get attacked by bandits in towns. Honorable, because honorable. And excellent leader, simply because I provide food and beverages for the troops, and that will decrease 25% attrition, so my troops will eat the food slower. You can also see the other lords, what type of traits that they have. So take this into consideration when accepting lords in your faction, because the game really takes this into account. The guys that I'm seeing over here, these are guys of my faction. Okay. So